Today we are looking at the slip knot. That's this knot you see right here on your screen. It's going to be pretty simple, but it's going to use some techniques that we've talked about in prior parts of the course. So why is it called a slip knot, you ask? Well, even though it looks pretty stable, if I just pull on these ends, apart it comes. And depending what you have it tied around, it may actually not slip at all. It could be a pretty stable knot, and we'll actually look at how we can use this knot in a more complex knot in a future class called the trucker's hitch. But when the knot is just tied on itself, it will slip. So how do we tie this? So I'm going to start off calling the right side of the rope my tail or working end, and I'm just going to create a loop in the rope. And as soon as you create the loop, I'd like you to get in the habit of pinching it between your thumb and your index finger, and if it's a thicker rope, it might be between your index and middle fingers as well to get a good grip on it. But try to avoid creating the loop and then grabbing it like this. Your hand is going to be in the way of almost any knot that you tie if you grab the loop in this fashion. And we're going to see coming up in a soon in this course when we talk about the bowline how this is really going to be a problem if you grab it this way. So as soon as I tie the loop, I just grab it like that. I've got now a very stable loop. It's pinched, it's not going anywhere, and I have both the tail, the standing end, and the loop ready to continue on with the knot. From here, I'm going to create a bite in the standing part of the rope. So remember, a bite is just when two parts of the rope are laying next to each other without crossing. So I've just created a bite here on my left hand. And now I'm going to take the bite and just go up through that loop like this. Now, one thing you do have to be aware of is whether the tail is under or over the loop you created. I created this loop by taking my left thumb down and right thumb rolling it away. That puts the tail on the bottom, but if I would have done it the other way, you notice the tail is on top. So regardless of which way you do it, when you create the bite, you have to make sure that the standing end and the bite are going to wrap over the loop, this part right here. So let me show you. If I take the bite and I put it through this way and I pull, I get my slip knot. However, if I'm not really paying attention and I create my loop, and you can see that the standing end is on top of the tail right here. If I take it and I put it through this way, that whole knot is just going to fall apart. Okay? Because I have the tail underneath the loop, I have to take the bite up through the bottom in that case. And if you just practice it a few times, I think it'll make sense. So here is my slip knot. Now, in order to dress it, I'm just going to grab the loop gently, especially to start, in my left hand, and I'm going to pull on the tail to just cinch it up. And once I get it in my hand a little more and the knot is a little bit tighter, then I can grab it if I really want to dress it really tightly. Remember, this is one of those knots you can't really dress by grabbing the tail and the standing end and pull it, because it's a slip knot. It's just going to come right apart. So let's do that again from the other side. I'm just going to create a loop and I'm going to pinch it. Now I'm pinching it with my left hand this time because that's the side that's closest to the tail or the working end. From this side, I'm going to create a bite. I'm going to look and see which way I've got to go through, under or over. In this case, I have to go over because the tail is on top. I go through. I'm going to grab the loop with my right hand gently and start to pull on the tail. That's going to just put a strangle on that bite. And then if I want to, I can cinch it up a little bit tighter. And there is my slip knot. And of course I could make this as long as I needed to. I could just loosen the tension or just create a bigger bite when I start it with and then cinch it up. And that's all there is to it.